Let her go. Guadalcanal, Solomon Islands, 1942. This is Charles G. Owens, United States Marine Corps, Company D, 1st Battalion, 7th Marines. On October 11th, 1942, I was transferred to A Company, 1st Battalion, 7th Marines. A bunch of us were transferred to A Company to bring the company up to near strength. Company A had lost about 75 men. In the month of October, we couldn't get food or supplies. On the afternoon of October the 23rd, 30 of us were sent to take our turn on the outpost. We were to stay on the hill from 4 p.m. one day until 4 p.m. the next afternoon. The outpost was about 30 yards ahead of our front lines. There was a light drizzle of rain that night between 9 and 10. We reported the Japanese moving up towards our front lines. By this time, we got the order to return to our lines. It was too late. When we got to the trail leading back to our lines, the Japanese were using it. There was a cross trail leading to the other side of a large field of kunai grass. We headed for this cross trail as soon as there was a break in the Japanese lines. When we got to the end of the cross trail, the Japanese were using it. Using that one too. This trail also led to the front lines. We got off the cross trail in case the Japanese decided to use it. We hid in the underbrush near the trail. The next bunch of Japs started down the cross trail. We don't know what happened, but suddenly all hell broke loose. We don't know if someone moved or the Japs saw a bayonet flash, but they started bumping into each other in their haste to get off the cross trail. We knew we had been spotted, so it was every man for himself. My buddy Jim Johnson and I ran through the underbrush for a short time when we found a fallen log. We jumped over and behind it and lay real still. I moved my hand to the right and felt a leg. I grabbed hold of the leg and gave a little tug. It didn't move, so I assumed the person was dead. Jim and I laid there the rest of the night. Artillery and mortars shells were falling all around us. At daybreak on October the 24th, I could see that the body on my right was a Marine. This is when we met Wallace Wynn from A Company. He said he hadn't moved when I pulled his leg because he thought we were Japanese and he was playing dead. The three of us lay there all day. Artillery and mortars were still falling all around us. About 3 or 3:30 in the afternoon, Wally whispered to me that a Jap was sneaking towards us. I told Jim what was happening. Wally said that he would jump up and shoot him, and the three of us would take off through the underbrush. We took off our backpacks so we could move more freely in the underbrush. All we kept was canteen with what water we had left. Wally got on his knees and shot the Jap, and then he stood up. Then we took off. Jim was second. I brought up the rear. We ran into five Japanese soldiers. I got 2 of them. Wally got 2, and then one got away. Jim was killed by one of the Japs. He was bayoneted in the back. He didn't have a chance. Wally was able to kill that Jap that killed Jim. Wally and I were split up during that skirmish. We didn't dare to holler to each other or to signal with our rifles. A .30 caliber rifle is louder than a Jap 25 rifle. We knew they would start looking for us, so I went my way and Wally went his. As night approached, I started looking for a place to get some sleep. I found a place where I would be completely covered. I had 2 hand grenades and 100 rounds of ammunition. It was a good place where I could hide and hang my grenades by the rings so that when I pulled the grenade off the limb, it would also pull the pin out. Then I would lay down to get some sleep. I woke up at daybreak on the 25th of October and headed east. I was going to try and reach the Lunga River. Just a week before, I was on a patrol to cross the Lunga River and look for a trail that the the Japanese were supposed to be using to move men and equipment towards our lines. We found the trail, and I sat by it for 2 hours. There was no action. About halfway up a hill, I thought I heard voices. I lay near the top of the hill and saw the Japanese retreating back from our lines. They were carrying their wounded. I lay there for the rest of the day watching groups of Japanese. At dusk, I found a place to hide and get some sleep. The next morning, October the 26th, I woke up and then crossed over the hill. About mid-morning, I was still going east when I heard a voice to my left. It sounded like someone said, "Hey, Al." I turned to my left and saw a Jap on his knees. I raised my rifle and shot. He fell face forward under the ground. The Japanese soldier was guarding a trail through a large kunai grass field. I think that he thought I was one of them since I was so far from our front lines. I continued east until nightfall, when I found another place to hide and get some sleep. I got up the next morning, October the 27th, and started on. I was really hungry by then. I hadn't eaten since we started down from the observation post. I was thirsty also. About mid-morning, I saw a bird about the size of a small chicken. I shot and killed it. I let it lay there about half an hour to see if any Japs would come after hearing the shot. No one came, so I went and picked it up and took it to my hiding place. I had no knife, so I ripped the skin off. I had no matches, although I wouldn't light a fire to cook it anyway. The Japanese would smell the smoke and come to investigate. I tried to eat the legs, but they were too tough to chew. I then tried the breast, and that was better. I ate half of the bird's breast and put the other half in my shirt pocket to eat the next day. I began walking east again when it dawned upon me that the meat would spoil in the heat of the jungle, so I ate the other half of the breast. As I walked on, again at dusk, I found another place to hide, hang up my grenades, and get some sleep. I woke up at dawn on October the 28th. I felt very thirsty. I stopped to lick the dew from the leaves and grass. Later that afternoon it rained. I took off my shirt and let it get wet. Then I wrung the shirt out, letting the water run into my helmet. It tasted awful. The sweat from my shirt gave it a terrible taste. On a tree, I saw what looked like a small vine running up the tree. I tried to pull it off, but it broke apart. I could see a stream of water running down the bark of the tree. I took a leaf and made a funnel. I filled my canteen half full of good water. Then I walked east again until dusk. I found a good place to hide for the night and tried to get some sleep. The next morning, October the 29th, I woke up and started walking east again. About mid-morning, I had to cross an open field, then through some underbrush that was growing along the Lunga River. I walked down the side of the river until I found a large log which had fallen from the side of the river onto the land. It made a great place for me to hide. I drank from the river and then washed my face and hands. I then lay down under the log to wait for darkness, at which time I planned to float down the river to our lines. Shortly after noon, I was awakened by a noise that turned out to be rifles being leaned against the log that I was under. I heard low voices and smelled good old American cigarette smoke. I didn't know how my voice would sound, as I hadn't spoke to anyone in 6 days. I finally got up the nerve to stand up. I held my hands up and said, "Don't shoot, I'm a Marine." It happened to be a Marine patrol with Lieutenant McCarthy in charge. He looked at me and he said, "My God, man, what are you doing out here?" I told him that I was one of the Marines that was on the outpost. They took my rifle so I wouldn't have to carry it, gave me some chocolate, and then had 2 Marines take me back to our lines. From there, I was taken to Colonel Chesty Puller and other officers for debriefing, and then to the hospital. I found out at the hospital that there were 30 Marines and 3,000 Japs. 3 days later, I was sent back to my company, D Company, 1st Battalion, 7th Marines.